Hey, this is for the children. Not win that $100 gift.
Yes, it is all the money I'm got, mama.
Okay, I have 6:32. At this time, I would like to call uh, October business meeting to order.
Here.
Carrington, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance. Flag. United States of America.
Mr. Richard, would you lead us in the preamble?
Ordinance.
Inherent power, self-governance of the Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina. The tribe adopts this Constitution for the purposes of establishing a tribal government structure. Economic well-being, freedom for the Lumbee people.
Ely Otzenstein,
Present.
Sharon Hunt,
Here.
Joe Gooseby, Earl Smith,
Here.
Ham Hunt,
Here.
J.D. Bullard,
Here.
Moore,
Here.
Carrington Locklear,
Here.
Christy Hunt,
Present.
Richard Jones,
Here.
Nancy Locklear here, Yvonne Daw,
Here.
Rudy Locklear,
Here.
Kathy Hunt,
Here.
Doy McNeil,
Here.
Bobby Emanuel, Takawana Otzenstein, Josephine Dawes,
Here.
Annie Taylor, Alex Baker,
Here.
Homer Fields.
Here.
You have a coin.
Madam Speaker. Miss Annie asked to be excused due to her sickness as well as Joel Gooseby.
An excuse for Miss Annie Taylor and Gerald Gooseby. So this time I'll read our ethics statement. It's in accordance with Ethics and Conflicts of Interest Ordinance 2010-0312-01, amended March 12, 2010. It is the duty of every council member to avoid both apparent and perceived conflicts of interest with regard to any matters before council in this business meeting. So please refrain from participation in those deliberations. All documents that require council action are considered confidential, shall not be disseminated until after a vote by the full council. So at this time, I'd like to say welcome to tonight's meeting. This is not our normal meeting night, but last week was the National Indian Education Association Conference, and next month we will not be meeting on the normal night. Next month's meeting has been rescheduled for the 28th. It's on a Tuesday night, so that's a little different for us. But next month is the National Congress of American Indians, so and then following that is the week of Thanksgiving, so we had to make some adjustments to the calendar for that. We don't have any presentations tonight. Can you believe it? But I would like to give you one great announcement, and this was from Representative Jared Lowry. He has posted that he is proud to announce that yesterday, the General Assembly appointed Jessica Locklear to a Superior Court seat. And Jessica becomes the first American Indian woman to serve as a Superior Court judge in North Carolina history. And with that being said, Jessica will not be running for the Court of Appeals at this time because your court wants to appeal when you can be on the appeals court, when you can be on the Superior Court, right? Um, we're just excited for her. At this time, I entertain a motion for the review and approval of the agenda.
Madam Speaker, I'd like to say that.
Motion by Mr. Jody Bullard,
Second.
second by Mr. Baker. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Next, we have the review and the approval of the September Tribal Council minutes and actions, and I'll entertain a motion for that.
I make a motion that we approve September Tribal Council.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Dewey McNeil and a second by Bill Oxendine. Mr. Bill Oxendine. By saying aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Chairman Lowry is not with us tonight. Are you? So we will be hearing from our tribal administrator, Mr. Ricky Harris.
Good afternoon. Just a couple of announcements I want to make for you. The rehab program, our physical year just finished. Rehab program accomplished 242 record. Record in the past had been 236. On these programs, energy program just finished up with our maximum. We did 1,522 seniors, elders, veterans, and disabled.
Like 8 days.
Mr. Rick, how many of them were new clients versus the repeats?
We hadn't got through them yet, Bill. We got them all. Haven't been able. November the 4th is a health fair at the Culture Center. WellCare will be doing it. They're doing blood pressure. They're having food. It's a big thing, gang. Invite folks to come, especially our elders. November the 4th. November the 9th is Student Day for us at U. I think it's all day. Starts at 9. Student Day is November the 9th. Let me skip.
Vicky, you got to show some kind of ID. Everybody.
November the 9th is our Student Day at UNCP. We've got most of the students from around the county coming to that for 2 events that we've got that day. And it's also our Veterans Day. So our memorial out front. That'll be at 2 o'clock on the night. That'll be at 2 p.m. and the students' day will start at 11. Those are things that we got going on. And November is, check your calendar, gang. November is packed.
Is that the lesson for the pounds?
No.
Mr. Administrator, can you have the data that you gave out? Can you have us send that email?
Get all the dates to you. Thank you, gang.
Okay, signed up for community comments. The first one is Miss Tammy Jump, District 3.
since Mr. Harris is talking about how busy November is, let's add 3 more days in there. November 6th, 7th, and 8th. I will be doing Walking My Mocks again. This year it has been opened up to Cumberland County, Hope County, Scotland County, and Wake County, as well as Robinson County. I have had a few of the chamber members who have sent donations. I would ask that any of the rest of you that can, I would appreciate that as well, so we can keep it as cost efficient for the children and give them as much as we possibly can. If anyone does not have the information, I have some extra ones that I would be happy to give them. And I hope if any of y'all could take any of those days off and volunteer, you could come out and spend some time with our children as well at the cultural center. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Okay.
I mean, you might want to tell them what will be happening that day.
It is starting, the kids will start arriving at 8:30. The programs will start at 9, and the second program will start at 11:30. It'll be over with at 2:30 that afternoon. The same thing for Tuesday and Wednesday. So even if you could just come out for an hour or two, that would be great, and get to see the kids. Each child will receive a friendship bracelet and either a pinch pot or a pine cone ornament for their Christmas tree. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Tammy. Next we have Miss Anita Blanks, District 9.
Good evening, everybody. I'm back again. I still have a question about the redistricting. You guys have any information? You know, according to your own reports, you all have been working on redistricting for almost 2 years. And I understand that administration is working on it now, but do we have any kind of time frame, any kind of anything that you can give to people to say we're actually trying to get back in compliance with the Constitution, because we've been out of compliance regarding this issue for many, many years. And the logistics of this, I recognize, are not small, because not only do you have to do the districts, you have to inform everybody in that district if they're in a new district, and that means getting in touch with every enrolled member of the tribe. So I understand it's a big undertaking, but yet it's been a long time. And so I'm just asking, has there been any updates? Have you gotten anything so far?
Okay, I'm going to respond to that. We do have the very first preliminary draft, and it is very preliminary. Mr. Matt Roller has been working on that with the Salesforce software, and they have presented us a very first rough draft. Mr. Matt, can I call on you? Would you give us an update, Mr. Matt? Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Madam Speaker and the council. Yeah, we are diligently working with the administration right now. As you saw the last time we presented, it was a preliminary map without, road signs or, highways and actual barriers. So we have a map we're doing right now with barriers. In the middle district, the North and South Pembroke gets a little more detailed, and it has to take a little bit more time with this map, having to actually draw out these districts. So we've got everything done except this middle part that we're working on. We meet with Salesforce weekly or bi-weekly, and getting those drawn out. So I'm expecting probably in the next 30 to 60 days, we should have that drawn out, and we can come with y'all with the actual, I don't want to call it, I don't want to call it the finished, but yeah, proposal. Thank you, Mr. Ricky. Yes, sir.
We don't have more than one proposal, right, to look at, right?
Well, right now, we were just coming up with the initial proposal, and then we were going to tune it from there.
We understand that it is a process, so there you go. That's where we are, Miss Anita.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
21 districts. Yes.
thank you, Madam Speaker.
Mr. Harris.
Madam Speaker, with this process, we'll make a proposal. It's strictly on the council to decide how the districts, as long as we meet the criteria of the law with the numbers. It's the council's decision on where the districts lines are drawn.
So, Miss Anita, we have started. There are 21 districts, and hopefully soon we will be in compliance. Okay? I have all ideas that you will remind us again, but that's okay. That's all we have for community comments, and we will turn to the committee reports. And the first committee report is under education, and it's CLLO-2023-102601 tribal consultation requirements. Ms. Yvonne Dial.
First of all, I'd like to say thank you to Mr. Daniel Locklear, Ms. Danielle McLean, and all others. Consultation, we had worked on it and had gotten it together, and so there were some additions that some of you wanted to add, especially all of the counties, and some other things I suggested, and so Mr. Daniel aware of that. But I wanted to say at the Indian Education Conference that we just attended, those of us that attended, I was really pleased to know that a lot of workshops dealt with consultation. And I went to 3 of them, and it was really dealing with the same things that we're sharing in this ordinance and resolution. I really feel good about this, and it's going to be our security. And some of the tribes are having some of the same problems, if not worse, from my indication that they shared. So I just thank everybody who supported this and worked with this. And like I'm saying, this will be our security. And I feel and pray and I hope and trust everything will work out well, and it can, by working together to be vigilant and to stay behind. It's nothing that's complicated. And I want you to understand too, and we shared this before, this is protecting our Indian people because we have been stereotyped, we have been dehumanized in so many ways, but this really supports and protects our children and all of us, because it was also, I went to a workshop, Mr. Jody, that dealt with the Institutional Review Board, and all of this is included. So I really felt good that we were really on top of things. I'll start with the first whereas. And this is a tribal consultation requirements that's going to deal with any consultation that we will have totally the tribe itself. Whereas the Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina, Lumbee Tribe is a recognized American Indian tribe of the state of North Carolina, subject to the Constitution of the Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina, Tribal Constitution, and its inherent sovereign powers and right to self-government. And whereas the Lumbee Constitution was adopted to preserve for all time the Lumbee way of life and community, promoting the educational, cultural, social, and economic well-being of Lumbee people, and securing justice and freedom for the Lumbee people. And whereas the Lumbee River, surrounding lands, and natural resources are vital to the sustainability of the Lumbee people, and whereas the Lumbee tribal government has the authority and responsibility to protect the quality of life of the Lumbee people, and whereas Article 7, Section 1 of the Tribal Constitution delegates all legislative authority of the Tribal Council of the Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina, Tribal Council, and whereas Article 8, Section 1E of the Tribal Constitution states that the tribal chairman represents the Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina before all other governments and tribunals, including the United States, the state of North Carolina, and all federal and state agencies, and whereas as our ancestors, the members of the Lumbee tribe, occupy their ancestral lands and are the original people of these lands. And whereas any project carried out at the behest of, with funding provided by, or with approval of the federal, state, and/or local government is a cause of concern for the Lumbee tribe and the environmental and cultural resources of the Lumbee tribe and its ability to provide a safe, livable homeland for its members and residents. And whereas the United States and all other subdivisions of the federal government of the United States and any other entities carrying out federal functions whereby there exists a duty and therefore must consult with the Lumbee tribe of North Carolina on any educational and governmental decisions or discussion or decisions that occur within the traditional lands or shall affect the members of the Lumbee tribe. And whereas any federal, state, or local agency must notify the Lumbee Tribal Council and the tribal administration at the first consideration of a project or proposal that may have any effect of those Lumbee traditional lands must initiate a government-to-government consultation with the Lumbee Tribal Council. And whereas any federal, state, or local agency so obligated shall consult with the Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina, and any such consultation with the tribe shall be done in a meaningful, timely, active, and an ongoing basis. And whereas any meaningful consultation requires consultation with both the tribal administration and the tribal council and any other designee as proposed at the discretion of the Lumbee tribe. And whereas the lack of true government-to-government consultation with the Lumbee tribe will result in negative impacts to the Lumbee people and deprives the Lumbee tribe information that is necessary to ensure its responsibilities to its citizens. And whereas the Lumbee tribe is deeply concerned about the lack of tribal consultation by any governmental entity, and whereas the Lumbee tribe, a sovereign tribal nation, intends to ensure that all federal, state, and local entities have clear and precise rules for consultation that will satisfy meaningful consultation required by the federal government, which involves the tribal territory or tribal citizens. And whereas a tribal consultation with the Lumbee tribe requires a timely and written request to the tribal chairman, the speaker of the Lumbee Tribal Council, and the chairperson of the Relevant Tribal Council Committee, and any other such designee so appointed at the discretion of the Lumbee tribe. And whereas timely requests shall be issued no less than 120 days before the initiation of any project and at least 30 days prior to any expected consultation date. And whereas any failure to consult the Lumbee Tribal Council and Lumbee Tribal Administration will be a basis for the Lumbee Tribal Government to proceed to seek any and all judicial and administrative remedies to immediately stop the project or projects until such consultation takes place. And whereas any tribal consultation that occurs shall be expressly written and shall include those parties present, such that any tribal consultation is documented and a report prepared and presented to all entities and individuals so designated to engage in any tribal consultation. Therefore, be it enacted, meaningful consultation with the Lumbee tribe must be undertaken for any action contemplated by any federal, state, or local entity before any action is taken that will directly affect the interests of the Lumbee tribe or its citizens within the tribal territory. And be it further enacted that tribal consultation with the Lumbee tribe will have occurred only when timely notice is provided to the Speaker of the Tribal Council, the Tribal Chairman, and the Chairperson of the Relevant Tribal Council Subcommittee, and no action can occur as a result of such consultation until written response has been provided by such designated representatives of the Lumbee tribe. And be it further enacted that the Lumbee tribe of North Carolina does hereby call upon the United States government and all federal, state, and local governments to firmly and finally ensure that all requirements for tribal consultation are carried out pursuant to this ordinance no later than 30 days after this ordinance's effective date. And therefore, be it finally enacted, the Tribal Council and Tribal Administration of the Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina does hereby condemn and take note that any violation of the ordinance will serve as a basis to initiate further legal and administrative action to remedy any such violations.
Mouthful, isn't it? Thank you, Ms. Vaughn. Vaughn has really put a lot of time and effort in this ordinance. Committee, it does a motion. Is there discussion?
Madam Speaker, due to conflict of interest, I won't be voting.
Madam Speaker, I also recuse myself from this.
Clarification, Mr. Bond. When you revised this, both our attorney and the tribe attorney agreed upon the language.
Had our tribal attorney agreed upon the language in this ordinance?
Our attorney, Mr. Daniel Locklear, also worked with this, and we have been in communication several times. If you would like to respond, Mr. Daniel.
Before it was finalized and submitted to the committee, it was on Daniel McLean and myself back and forth. It did the final end to Miss Yvonne.
Okay. Further.
Billy Ottenstein,
Yes.
Karen Hunt,
Yes.
Gerald Gooseby, Earl Smith,
Yes.
Sam Hunt,
Yes.
J.D. Bullard,
Recuse myself.
Wendy Moore,
Yes.
Carrington Locklear,
Yes.
Christy Hunt,
Yes.
Richard Jones,
I recuse myself.
Nancy Locklear, yes, Siobhan Dodd,
Yes.
Rudy Locklear,
Yes.
Kathy Hunt, Louis McNeil,
Yes.
Bobby Emanuel, Chakawana Ottenstein, Josephine Dawes, Annie Taylor, Alex Baker,
Due to conflict, I have to recuse myself.
Homer Fields.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Next is CLLO 2023-1026-02. Tribal consultation on Indian education mandate. Ms. Yvonne Dow.
Speaker, this was supposed to be a resolution and not an ordinance from that night.
That's correct. It's supposed to be a resolution. We'll get that taken care of then.
Or that number.
Madam Speaker, can I make a motion? Can we go about the business because we know that it's a typo rather than having to go back to committee? Can we make that amendment and adjustment here as CLLR?
I'm fine with that. The signature page would also need to be changed.
So disregard the ordinance number. So it's the new number is CLLR 2023 1026 1. It's the first resolution, yeah. So 1. Ms. Yvonne, this ordinance is much like the other one, but I was going to tell you I would start like, okay, because it's a lot like.
Point of order.
I will not be reading all of this. If you would see the first page of the tribal consultation on Indian education mandate, all of that's the same as the consultation requirements. And if you go to the second page, after the third whereas, okay, all of that's the same as the first consultation requirement. But if you go to the fourth whereas, this is where it begins more so with the specifics of Indian education. I'll begin reading there.
John, can I stop you 1 second before you start? We had a motion on the floor to change this ordinance to a resolution and a second by Mr. Baker. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you very much. Ms. Dow, you may resume.
I'll repeat myself again. I'm sorry, Madam Chair. Again, on this, the first page and beginning on the second page, the three whereas on the second page, they're all the same as the consultation requirement. So I'll begin reading on the second page at the fourth whereas. Whereas the lack of tribal consultation with regard to Title I through Title VI under ESSA grant by the public schools of Robinson County, Cumberland County Schools, Hope County Schools, as well as Scotland County Schools is a cause of concern for the Lumbee tribe. And whereas the Lumbee tribe, a sovereign tribal nation, intends to ensure that all federal, state, and local entities have clear and precise rules for consultations that will satisfy meaningful consultation requirements of the federal government. And whereas a tribal consultation with the Lumbee tribe shall require a timely written request to the tribal chairman, the speaker of the Lumbee Tribal Council, and the chairperson of the Riverland Tribal Council Committee. And whereas timely requests shall be issued not less than 30 days prior to any expected consultation date. And whereas the Every Student Succeeds Act, ESSA, mandates that meaningful tribal consultation by a local education authority administering a Title I through Title VI Indian education grant shall be meaningful in that it is timely, active, and ongoing. And whereas the Cumberland County Public Schools, Hope County Schools, Public Schools of Robinson County, and Scotland County Schools have received a Title I through Title VI grant under ESSA, and the Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina is the Indian tribe within the service areas of each of the systems, and therefore shall be consulted on any Title I through Title VI grant and any other program administered thereunder. And whereas the Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina deems the meaningful tribal consultation requirement of the ESSA to have been met only when the Lumbee tribe has been consulted pursuant to the Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina ordinance. Whereas the Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina has determined that meaningful, timely, ongoing, and active consultation requires the tribe to be consulted no less than 3 times a year in January, April, and September of each year. And whereas the Lumbee tribe so designates the following persons as those persons required for any such meaningful consultation or their approved designee: the tribal chairman, the speaker of the tribal council, education committee chair, finance committee chair, ethics committee chair, and 1 member from the council on an ad hoc basis. And whereas any failure to consult with the Lumbee Tribal Council and Lumbee Tribal Administration will be deemed a basis for the Lumbee Tribal Government to proceed to seek any and all judicial and administrative remedies to immediately stop the project or projects under such consultation takes place. And therefore be it enacted, meaningful consultation with the Lumbee tribe must be undertaken for any contemplated by the Cumberland County Schools, Hope County Schools, Public Schools of Robinson County, and Scotland County Schools related to any grant under Title I through Title VI of the ESSA, and there be it further enacted that consultation must be initiated by the Cumberland County Schools, Hope County Schools, Public Schools of Robinson County, and Scotland County Schools and scheduled to occur in January, April, and September of each year, and that the tribal administration of the Lumbee tribe work with the local school boards to ensure that meaningful, active, and timely and ongoing consultation occurs and begins with an introductory consultation no later than November of 2023 to establish the plan for ongoing consultation. Therefore, be it finally enacted, the Tribal Council and the Tribal Administration of the Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina does require of the Cumberland County Schools, Hope County Schools, Public Schools of Robinson County, and Scotland County Schools consult with the Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina, and that the respective school systems make consultation with the Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina a high priority for any employee of the school system with responsibility for any grant under the Title I through Title VI of the ESSA.
Miss Yvonne, I would change the words enacted to resolved. The beginning with the therefore be it enacted. It's not law, so just I would change it to therefore be it resolved. Be it further resolved, and therefore be it finally resolved.
Also, in mentioning the schools, I see that Hope County and Scotland County do not have the word public in there. So we need to, and Cumberland, and we need to make sure that we have public schools noted in that.
Further discussion, Mr. Richard?
I'm within section, I'm in paragraph 9 on that second page where it talks about the different schools. And then on the last page, second paragraph from the end where it says be further enacted, and it's got the different schools. I just worry about any other LEA that might join, like a charter school that picks up the grant. It doesn't seem like they would be covered in here. And we have several charter schools in our territory. And they could apply for Indian Ed. And I think if you just put any other LEA would cover that.
Attorney, are you comfortable with that in that language? Any other LEA?
Not a concern. County schools, Cumberland County Schools, Scotland County, per the DPI website. We checked with DPI website, and they were listed as Hope County Schools, Cumberland County Schools, and Scotland County Schools, and then Robinson was Public Schools of Robinson County per their website, because that was a question whether that was their actual name.
So I guess in that last, that third last whereas on the second page, it needs to be with the one on the last page. That's just
So we're okay to go ahead and still vote on this with the corrections that everyone suggested. So we can get this out to all the schools. I would request that, and Mr. Daniel, myself can get that, and all we have to do is just make these corrections, give it Ms. Lakeisha, and then I had planned to come at least by tomorrow or Monday, and then send these to everyone that we need to send to.
further discussion.
I was going to say that due to conflict of interest, again, I'm like curious myself.
Madam Speaker, I'd like to make a motion that we accept this resolution, including any amendments that might be needed.
Have a motion by Miss Wendy, a second by Mr. Bill Oxendine. Any further discussion?
Yes, 9.
Yes.
Karen Hunt,
Yes.
Gerald Goodsby, Harold Smith,
Yes.
Pam Hunt,
Yes.
J.D. Bullen,
For conflict of interest, I would accuse myself from voting.
Cindy Moore,
Yes.
Carrington Locklear,
Yes.
Christy Hunt,
Yes.
Richard Jones,
I recuse myself.
Nancy Locklear, yes. Siobhan Dahl,
Yes.
Rudy Locklear, Kathy Hunt,
Yes.
Joy McNeil,
Yes.
Bobby Emanuel, Takawana Oxenine, Josephine Dawes,
Yes.
Annie Taylor, Alex Baker,
Yes.
Homer Fields.
Yes.
If you will turn your attention over calendar.
Ms. Sharon, I'd just like to say thanks to everyone for this because it has been a lot of hard work and a lot of time has been spent in getting this together. So thanks to everyone.
Thank you, Miss Yvonne. If you'll turn your attention to the October 23 calendar. Anything else this month? No. Okay. Go ahead and switch to November. Okay. Mr. Jody Bullard.
I would like to add Health and Human Services for November the 6th at 7:30.
I would like to add housing and finance on the 7th, please. 6:30, 7:30. You want to do finance first? Miss, how do we do it? I'm already forgot. Okay, housing, 6:30, finance, 7:30, please.
Yvonne.
Occasion November the 6th at 8:30.
Do Constitution ordinance on the 9th at 6:30, and Mr. Bobby requested ethics at 7:30.
Anybody else? Changes? Is the creative writing deadline on the 13th, Miss Yvonne?
Yes, we extended it another week.
Jody?
I'd like to add a community meeting for November the 30th.
30th?
Apologize, that will be District 4. Be at the Lumbee Lodge.
Probable elections are November the 14th. Our November business meeting is November the 28th. NCAI, National Congress of American Indians is the week of November the 12th. Let's see. On Monday, November the 20th is the Native American night with the Charlotte Hornets and the Boston Celtics. We have secured a box suite. Tickets are on sale on the website only, and it's a first come, first serve, and it's just going to be a fun night. We will have folks drumming. The national anthem will be performed by our very own Miss Jones. That means Richard's going to buy about 10 tickets, and it is sponsored by Metrolina Native American Association. It's the first time that this has happened. I hope it's the first of many to come. Again, that's on Monday night, November the 20th. It is American Indian Night, and In Charlotte, Mr. Baker.
I'd like to ask that Lakeisha get with administration and particularly public relations in any and all community activities like the tribal administrator talked about be placed on the calendar. From the medicine drop to all of those activities, because November is a busy month and it's just easier if we have that on our calendar to refer to than trying to hunt through the 150 emails that I have trying to figure out who sent what on what date. So if I could ask that Lakeisha make sure that any and all things from public relations and administration, all activities are included on our calendar. Thank you, Madam.
All hearts and minds clear, like my preacher says.
I'd like to make a statement. Just a reminder for everyone that this week is UNCP's homecoming week. Chairman, I think, is doing something Saturday. It's Indigenous Day, I think. Am I right, Ricky? I think he's leading the team out Saturday for recognition. So it's not this weekend, right? So okay. So, but this week is homecoming at Pembroke. So if you come out.
Mr. Richard?
I'd also like to remind everybody, we all know that it's in Heritage Month, November. Public schools are seeking individuals to come out and read. I know I am, but anybody that would like to come and read to my students or speak to my students, I'll get you information after the meeting, please, so I can put it on the calendar. Thank you. And those that come last year, I thank y'all. It was they would loved it. It was good, wasn't it, Miss Sharon? It was good, wasn't it? Thank you.
Everybody would stand for the benediction. Mr. Homer, would you give us the benediction?
Father, as we come to you tonight, thank you, Lord. Father, we ask you, Lord, as we just go through. Father, there's so much going on. Not good. We just. Father, we ask you, Lord, as we go our separate ways, do we just ask your blessing?
Okay, if y'all hang around for a little bit, we do have a brief LNPP meeting that we were supposed to have last month, but it just got changed. It's going to be, we only need just a few minutes.